Hey everyone, Ronnie Chavez here to bring you another super slow motion parkour tutorial on the basic precision jump, specifically to a handrail. Now I also wanted to thank Kuma Films, Todd and Joe Robbins for filming this clip on their Phantom camera at 1,000 frames per second, so be sure to go check out their channel for more sweet slow motion videos. Now I'm going to play this clip back multiple times throughout this video, doubling the speed each time we play back, so you can see it in different speeds all across the board to just watch it for yourself, analyze it. You can listen to my commentary, my analysis, or you can mute the video and just try and figure it out for yourself. Whatever you want to do, either way, let's jump into it and analyze the basic precision jump. So the thing to keep in mind when doing a precision jump is it's all about practice and letting it become ingrained in you. So it's all about doing it over and over again with small distances so that you can get familiar with that. Now going into the actual technique, as you can see, I've already started loading my arms to get a powerful swing with my arms, which are going to add additional thrust to my initial jump. You can see that I'm leaning forward so that I'm jumping forward and that I'm not bending my knees a ton, just enough to get a powerful jump. And you want to make sure you're jumping from your toes, because that's where you're going to get the most power and the most control, and that's where you're going to least likely slip when jumping off from the takeoff. Now as you're jumping in the air, you want to start bringing your knees in, tucking in your body a little bit. You don't have to do a full tuck, just enough so that you can tuck your feet in to bring them back forward to spot your landing. Main thing with spotting your landing is you want to make sure that you're coming into it with a reach and that you have momentum, because that's going to allow you to absorb the impact and then kind of bend your knees to control it so that you can stick safely on the landing. Otherwise, if you have momentum but are landing up straight vertical on top of it, then you're going to pop right off. So you have to make sure you're reaching for it, and depending on how much momentum you have, you want to adjust how much you're reaching for it. Now jumping into the next speed at a native 1,000 frames per second, I wanted to mention that when you're actually practicing the precision jump, it's all about repetition. There's no math involved in doing the precision jump. You don't need to pull out a tape measure to know exactly how far you can jump. Those things can be helpful, but it's all about training it to be instinctive so that you can just look at an object and you can feel instinctively whether you can make that jump or not. And that just comes over tons of practice, lots of times doing the jump over and over again at different distances, and over time it'll just become second nature as you do the precision jump. So that's just something to keep in mind as you do the precision jump, is that it may be awkward and uncomfortable at first and inconsistent, but over time you'll be jumping like a gazelle in no time. Alright, now playing back at 1/16 speed, or the equivalent of 480 frames per second, what I also want you to keep in mind is doing the precision jump is on the landing, make sure that you're landing focusing on the balls of your feet, or at least near the backs of the balls of your feet. So here, that's where I'm mostly landing. I slid a little bit forward to my arches, and that's okay because that's the safer way to land than if you land purely on the edges of your toes and you risk clipping off, or if you land further back on your arches or heels and you slip forward. Those can both end badly, so keep that in mind. Okay, now we're playing back at a quarter speed. You can really start seeing the amount of thrust and energy that's going into this jump. And that's really important because it happens so fast. You really want to be focused when doing a precision jump on where you're landing and how you're aiming your feet. Now at a half speed, we're getting closer to full speed. Once again, you can see the whole motion all the way through in full speed. Popping the little front flip at the end, and then here we are at normal speed, the precision jump. I'm going to play it back a few times at normal speed just so you can have a chance to watch it at this normal speed so you can see the amount of power and technique that goes into it. Once again, once you have the basic technique down on the takeoff and the landing, then it'll really just be practice before it becomes second nature, and it's just as easy to do a real precision jump as it is to do a precision jump to ledges or curbs. An important thing to keep in mind for your safety when doing the precision jump is that, especially on handrails and other objects as well, it can be slippery, and depending on the grip of your shoes with that object, it can slip. So you really want to make sure you test your grip first to make sure you're going to have decent grip. But even if your grip isn't perfect, if you've trained precisions long enough, then you can know how to properly land on a handrail without slipping off. And a lot of that has to do with what I mentioned earlier about the angle and the way you're landing on the handrail. So instead of landing straight up and down with lots of momentum, which will increase the chances of your feet slipping, you're actually aiming your feet at the side of the handrail so that you're pushing against it instead of sliding against it, if that makes sense. The impact, the energy of the handrail is going straight into your shoe and foot, and then you're just bending your legs to allow yourself rest and stick on top of the handrail. So that's just something to keep in mind if there is a little bit of slickness on the handrail you're jumping to. But I wouldn't recommend practicing on slick handrails. You really want to practice with full grip and control when you're first learning this move. So there's my analysis on the basic precision jump to a handrail. I hope you guys have been able to get something out of this and have enjoyed the super slow motion. Once again, go check out Kuma Films to watch more epic, talented slow motion videos that they film on their channel. They're super cool guys and good friends of mine. In this video, you can see I was wearing my blue white logo t-shirt. If you want a shirt like that, it supports my channel, so be sure to check it out. But otherwise, if not, you can just subscribe for more tutorials and parkour and free running videos. So thank you once again for watching, and we'll see you next time.